Okay, good morning class. So today we're looking at paper 2. This was the paper that you guys have written. The paper was 2 hours long for 100 marks. Okay. The paper and the memo can be found in the description box below. Alright. So given the line segment AB with A being negative 4 and B which is 6 and minus 5. The question says calculate the distance between A and B. Calculate the distance between A and B. So 1.1.1. So AB follows a formula. The square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So that will give us the square root of minus 4 minus 6 squared plus 4 minus 5 squared. So that gives me 10 squared plus 9 squared is going to be 181, the square root of 1. Okay? The square root of 181, is that correct? Yes. Alright. Square root of 180. Any confusion there? No. Let's go with 1.2. In question 1.2 we are told or asked, determine the coordinates of the midpoint of AB. So how do you calculate the midpoint? It's x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay? So we're looking at AB. It's going to be negative 4 plus 6 over 2. Remember, if I make this x1, this will be y1 if that's x2, y2. Alternatively, if I had made that x2, this will be y2, and this will be x1, y1. Okay? So you will have 4 plus negative 5 over. So that will give us an answer of 2 over 2, which is 1. And this will be negative half. So 1 and negative half is approximately here. And the distance of this, of course, is the square root of 181. The root thereof. Okay. Any confusion thus far? No. Just calculate the gradient of the perpendicular, the line perpendicular to AB. People, if lines are perpendicular, what do we know? Yes? Now, whose fault is that? Whose fault is it? You don't know. Why weren't you at school?
I was.
But why weren't you in school?
I was.
You was?
Yes.
So now when the papers was handed out, why didn't you take it?
I think it was moderated.
It was moderate. Then ask Ms. Dixon to take it. Where else is shorting the paper too? Okay, just get it back. Who else needs paper too? It's only you. Did you fetch it? Okay. So number 3, so 1.1.3. Calculate the gradient of the line perpendicular to AB. If lines are perpendicular, what do we know? Yes, must multiply and give you an answer of negative 1. But here we are told that they are perpendicular. Okay, so the product of the two gradients is minus 1. So just backtrack quickly. If we must prove that lines are perpendicular, then we prove that the product of the two gradients is minus 1. Okay? If we are told that they are perpendicular, then the product of the two gradients is minus 1. Okay? If lines are parallel, gradients are equal. If we must prove that lines are parallel, we then prove that gradients are equal. Okay? Let's take this off as I need the space here. So to calculate the gradient of the perpendicular to AB, I first need to calculate the gradient of AB. And how do we calculate the gradient? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the gradient of AB, of course, is equal to minus 5 minus 4. So I'm using that y2 and y1. over 6 minus 4. So that is negative 9 over 10. So the gradient of this line is minus 9 over 10. You sorted, Michael?
Was ik steeds going to Jada?
Jada?
So, need to go to back to the class and then first go to the class.
What did you do?
So, need to go to back to the distance class. So, when I was looking for the other people's studies, then I think I mixed it.
Now you go fetch it quickly. Yeah. You must mix it. Where did you do it now in this period? Let's just go fetch it. So you know what happened to the papers. Instead of sending her up and down. So that means to say that the gradient of AB times the gradient of the perpendicular line is minus 1. So we got negative 9 over 10 multiplied by the perpendicular line is equal to negative 1. That gives me an answer of 10 over 9. Okay. Why? Because if I divide both sides by negative 9 over 10, I get 10 over 9. Okay. Let's go to 1.2. Atiyanda. You guys know what that is? See in this class? Are you Atiyanda? Who are you? You Imran. Yes, Imran? Okay. And Jessica runs towards each other at the same speed. So if they're running to each other at the same speed, they collide at point M, which is 8 and 12. So if they're at the same speed, then the distance covered at the point of collision has to be equal by each person. You guys understand? Alright. Which is 8 and 12. If Adhyanda starts running at point A, which is 30 and 28, where did Jessica start running from? Okay. So people here, we need to work on midpoint in reverse now. So we know that x1 plus x2 over 2 is equal to x mid, and y1 plus y2 over 2 is equal to y mid. Okay. So if this is x1 y1, this is x2 y2, and this of course is xm ym, x mid y mid. Can you see that, people? So x1 is x plus 30 over 2 is equal to 8, and on the other hand we got y plus 28 over 2 is equal to y mid, which is 1. Okay. So here's is a matter of solving for x here. So it's going to be x plus 30 is equal to 16. So x is equal to negative 14. Is that correct? And then the next one is going to be y plus 28 is equal to 24. So y is equal to negative 14. Is that correct? Who got that sum right? Is that correct? Nice. The question paper and the memo can be found in the description box. So question 2. In the diagram given, ABCD is a quadrilateral. Make this a bit smaller. ABCD is a quadrilateral with A, which is negative 3 and 6, B, which is 5 and 0, C, which is 4 and negative 9, and D, which is negative 4 and negative 3, is the midpoint of the diagonal AB. What did I say? It's a diagram. Right. They didn't tell us what type of shape it is. Okay. The question says, calculate the coordinates of E. People, that is simple. That is the midpoint formula. So x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So that's going to give you negative 4 plus 5 over 2, negative 3 plus 0 over 2. So that is m, which is half, and minus 3 over 2. Okay. You will always notice that I populate the diagram. Okay? And why do I do that is because if I look at the diagram with one glance, I can see exactly what I have and what still needs to be sorted out or calculated. Okay. So the second question says, prove that A, B, C is a parallelogram. Now there's 5 ways of proving something is a parallelogram. What are the 5 ways? All 2 pairs of opposite sides are equal. Then 2 pairs of opposite angles are equal. Then opposite sides are parallel. Then diagonals bisect each other. And the last one states that if one pair of opposite sides are equal and parallel, then it's a parallelogram. So one of those 5 cases. So if I look at what I have already, what do I have? I have the midpoint of line BD. So if I can go with the line, the midpoint of line AC, and I find it to be the same as E, then it has to be a parallelogram. Why? Because then the diagonals actually bisect each other, cut each other in half. So in 2.2, so I'm going to work out, I'm not going to call it M, I'm going to call it the midpoint of AC, because I'm not sure if it's M yet. So it's going to be x1 plus x2 over 2, and then y1 plus y2 over 2. So that gives us an answer of a half and negative 3 over 2. What do you notice? The same as E. So since the midpoint of AC and point E is the same, therefore ABCD is a parallelogram or a palm. Why? Because the diagonals bisect each other. Can you see that, people? That's how we prove that it's a parallelogram. Okay. Let's look at number 2.3. Find the equation of diagonal BD in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. Okay. So y is equal to mx plus c for BD. I need the gradient. The gradient of BD. Did I calculate that already? BD, no. So how do I calculate the gradient? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So it's going to be 0 minus 3 over 5 minus 4. So that will give you 3 over 9, which is a third. So y is equal to a third x plus c. We now substitute either b or d.
Bartman, can you please report to the music prefect?
That's the x and the y.
At the start of break. Bartman to report to Mr. Elias's classroom.
So that's negative 5 over 3. So y is equal to
music prefect. Then the following learners, can you please report to the drama room? Jessica Alexander, Morgan Delport, Radia Florence, Amanda Kuzwayo, Mukul Lefori, Retabile Mankai, Imanate Mafumbela, Sikhle Magwali, Atayanda Mutuli, Jennifer Boom, and Flonella Koki. Those learners, can you please report to the drama room at the start of break. Thank you.
Okay, so in 2.4 they asked you to calculate the equation of the perpendicular bisector. So perpendicular means to say it stands at 90 degrees. The bisector of AD. So in other words, the line that's going through here at 90 degrees. Okay. So we know that the gradient of BD times the gradient of the perpendicular bisector is negative 1. So a third
and Hanya in grade 8C, can you please report to the office? Lenumta and Hanya in 8C to the office as well.
So
then I still have a a lot of reports that has not been collected.
The only point you can substitute is C,
Please
is
come to
E.
the office and come and collect it. Thank you.
Because the line is going through there, as it says, is bisecting. Remembering that's a x and a y. So there's negative 3 over 2 is equal to negative 3 into R plus C. So it's going to be negative 3 over 2 plus 3 over 2 is equal to C, so C is 0. So y is equal to negative 3x. Is that correct? Huh? People enjoy the rest of your day? Good morning, class.